and my background is a CPA. Next. Today we're going to answer some common questions about the GO zone, what it is, how do you qualify, and what benefits can I receive. If you would like to know more about the issues we discuss or other GO zone tax issues, later in the presentation you will be given a telephone number for your free one-on-one consultation. I invite you to call us. Next. What is the GO zone? The GO zone is based on several federal tax legislation histories from prior acts, IRS rules, and court cases. The GO zone tax benefit applies only to your federal tax return. Next. What is the GO zone? Because of that legislative history, the GO zone is well documented, verifiable, supported by history. For you as a taxpayer, this means that the GO zone is a very conservative tax strategy. The things that we are going to discuss today are based on decades of tax law, well legislated and well regulated. Next. What is the tax benefit of the GO zone? The core tax benefit is the ability to take 50% of the total allowable depreciation on a qualifying party in the year of acquisition. This is opposed to taking the amount uniformly over 27.5 years. This is a huge benefit. Next. One of the most common questions we face is, can I use the GO zone tax benefit? Because of the conservative nature of the GO zone legislation, I estimate that over 90% of investors can use this 50% GO zone benefit. Now at this time I'd like to correct some common misconceptions. Number one, you do not need to be a licensed real estate professional to fully participate in the GO zone benefit. All you need to do to fully participate in the GO zone tax benefit is to operate your real estate holdings like a business. Number two, there are no limits to the amount reported on your federal income tax return. A GO zone tax benefit properly structured comes onto the face of your 1040 as 100% of the deduction, offsetting all the income on page 1. These are huge benefits. However, I do not suggest that you make this determination on your own. I would suggest you call us at 561-404-7375 for your free one-on-one consultation and see if you qualify, and if so, how much of the benefit can be yours. Next. Another common question, how can the GO zone benefit me? Here is how the GO zone can benefit you. Imagine taking a very large deduction onto the front page of your income tax return and offsetting it against salary, interest income, dividend income, capital gains, and in fact offsetting it against any income on the face of your return. There is not a limit to the amount of the deduction you can report in year one if you operate your real estate investments as a business. You are also not limited by your income. Next. How do you calculate the GO zone benefit? There are 6 steps for calculating the GO zone benefit, as you can see on this slide. Let's take a minute and look at a practical example. Next. Let's assume that the total purchase price of a building that qualifies for the GO zone benefit is $335,000. The first step is to determine the total purchase price, which would be not just the price of the building, but also other costs associated with the purchase. Step number 2 is we have to make an estimated value of the land. In this case, I chose $35,000 because in most cases it's approximately 10% of the total purchase price. That means that, as we can see in step 3 and 4, the depreciable basis is the value of the building at $300,000. Step number 5 and 6 from the previous slide, the Go Zone tax benefit is 50% of $300,000 or $150,000. Now imagine your personal tax benefit if you could eliminate $150,000 of income from your personal tax return in any 1 year. How much taxes could you personally save? Now the only way I'll know the correct answer to that is to build a tax model for you and find out. However, as an example, if you are in the 33% federal marginal tax rate, your tax savings would approximate $50,000. That means that the IRS would send you a check for $50,000 for having purchased a qualifiable Go Zone property and qualifying yourself to receive that benefit. Next. Are there any tax traps to avoid? There are tax traps to avoid. Most of them arise because taxpayers do not follow the rules. If you'll call us, and as we build your personal tax model, we will also plot out safe passage away from these traps. Some of these traps include Section 1031 exchanges, the correct relationship with triple net leases, the correct relationship with property managers, the correct relationship with your personal tax affairs and the business. Those are just some of the things that we can plot out safe passage for you away from these traps. Next. Where do I go from here? I really hope you'll call me for a free one-on-one consultation. The tax benefits that we talk about in the Go Zone are real and verifiable. They are benefits that Congress passed so that you, as a qualifying real estate investor, could receive to induce you to come to the Go Zone and build property so that the infrastructure could be replaced. We can build the tax model for you and determine the true amount of benefit for you. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation.